Good Thursday and greetings, and thank you for being here on a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Yes, a bit on the windy side, but a beautiful day in the neighborhood nonetheless. We are, however, we're still looking at a weather pattern change and the chance for some snow. A weak low pressure system tracking along a stalled front, more or less, near the Tennessee border is going to bring a threat for some snow and wintry precipitation. Maybe some accumulating snowfall from late tomorrow into your early Saturday morning northern counties. The best shot, but we have one as well. I'll outline that in more detail in just a few seconds. A number of headlines tonight. We'll go directly to them locally in just a few moments, but a few things otherwise statewide. In his Team Kentucky update earlier today, Governor Beshear announced some exciting news with the state's agri-tech sector. Bosch Berries, an international grower and distributor of bell peppers and things like strawberries and blackberries, obviously, is locating a new greenhouse operation to Somerset, investing nearly $50 million and creating 28 jobs here in Kentucky. Blackberries and strawberries. The Kentucky National Guard, in another portion of the update, was named for the first time. The 2023 Association of the United States Army's Best National Guard Command. Governor Beshear said this award represents the heroic actions of Guard members following, of course, the natural disasters. A lot of the flooding, of course, are referred to in that in Kentucky, in which members helped save more than 1,400 Kentuckians, as well as their service overseas and the southwest border. The award is also based on readiness, physical fitness, and training. Beshear also highlighted that the 1st Battalion 149th Infantry won the General Walter T. Kerwin Jr. Readiness Award in November. The GED program in Kentucky, one more portion of the update, growing. Lieutenant Governor Coleman announcing that as of January of this year, over 10,100 Kentuckians have earned their GED since the waiver for first-time takers was announced in January of 2020. And because of the demand for GED services, the Office of Adult Education has increased the number of testing sites by 67% across the Commonwealth. And that indeed is a good sign and good news. In other news tonight, and I want to stress that any type of a lawsuit, civil or otherwise, by and large, is one side of the story. Nevertheless, the CEO of Big Sandy Rural Electric Cooperative Corporation, based in Johnson County, has been sued by 3 employees, at least 3, claiming sexual harassment. The plaintiffs in the case filed are all 3 females, all who are employees for Big Sandy Rural Electric Co-op, the public utility located mostly in Johnson County. Casey Van Hoos, a billing representative since July of 2019, a Caitlin Cantrell, an employee since December of 2020, and Kelly Burton, an employee since January of 19. All have joined this suit. Van Hoos stating that for at least 4 years, she claims she's been continually sexually harassed by defendant Davis, him continually physically touching her, following her into the women's bathroom, making lewd comments, making numerous sexual comments, being requested to meet him in a private location, while Cantrell and Burton as well make similar claims in the lawsuit. 3 plaintiffs further state that they also have personal knowledge that not only were the 3 of them sexually harassed, but that Davis sexually harassed other female employees as well, and that Davis is not only sexually harassing them at times, but has made numerous statements to the plaintiffs that if they complained, their jobs would be in jeopardy. Again, a court case filed and representing one side of the story to date. With that said, here in McGoffin County Court, a man was sentenced to 15 years today. A plea agreement. He, as I told you some weeks ago, and as we did here in the Staggersville Independent, changed his initial plea of not guilty to guilty, and he was sentenced earlier today by the Honorable Kim Childers. Owens was first arrested on January the 10th of last year at his home after allegations from a juvenile female were made to the Kentucky State Police, claiming he forcibly raped her 2 days prior. Initially pleading guilty, he did agree to a plea deal, as I said some months ago. The Commonwealth's attorney recommending 15 years in prison for both counts of rape and 5 years for each of the sexual abuse charges, all to run concurrently. And that was what happened earlier today. After withdrawing his plea of not guilty, he was officially today sentenced on counts of rape in the first degree, 2 separate counts, and 3 separate counts of sexual abuse, 2 or all in the first degree. And for purposes of sentencing, the defendant appeared in court today And having given consideration, the court says, to the PSI prepared by the Division of Probation and Parole and to the nature and circumstances of the crime, as well as the history and character and condition of the defendant and any matters presented to the court by defendant or counsel, the court found that there was, 1, a likelihood that during a period of probation or conditional discharge the defendant might commit or would commit another crime and was in need of correctional treatment, and that probation or conditional discharge would unduly depreciate the seriousness of his crime, and therefore was sentenced to 15 years on each of the rape and the first charges and 5 years on each of the sexual abuse charges, all to run concurrently, meaning he was handed a 15-year sentence. And in addition to serving the 15 years, getting credit for time served, other parts of the plea agreement stipulate that he, of course, have no contact with the victim, be a lifetime sexual offender on the register, as well as undergo sexual offender registration, evaluation, and follow through with the treatment recommendations, enter and complete a sex offender treatment program while incarcerated, shall assume financial responsibility for any treatment required by himself and or the victim. He shall fully inform any potential partner in advance of his sex offense history. And he as well shall not reside in a setting where there are children without express prior approval of his therapist and a community supervision agent. He shall hold no employment that places him in contact with or control over children without the same permission as well. He shall not date, live in, or otherwise align himself with any person involved with children without the express approval of his therapist or agent, and he shall not become involved as a supervisor, instructor, leader, or participant in any organization involving children without, of course, approval, and he is hereby again credited with time served. Be right back.
The Kenny Wayne Shepherd Band. Live in concert. Turn on My Diamonds Tour. March 7th. The Mountain Arts Center in Prestonsburg. Tickets on sale now at People's Bank Box Office or MacArts.com. Don't miss the Kenny Wayne Shepherd Band live.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in small town values.
And mom and dad and the things they handed down.
I believe some of the best people in the world are farmers.
I believe in insurance that protects families, homes, and cars.
I believe in always finding a way to do what you love.
I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
You've seen the forecast, right? You know what season it is, so it is time to get ready. With New Year deals that are worth up to $200 off a new set of tires, and get your car running like new with only a $35 state-of-the-art computer diagnosis, and save all the payments for later with 6 months same as cash at Conley Tire and ConleyTire.net. Sagersville National Bank hopes to help you start the new year with financial freedom and peace of mind. From new services like Apple and Google Pay with your debit card to their more than century of being dedicated to being your personal or business banking institution, they're here for you with digital, phone, or in-person banking at both locations.
Hello, I'm Dr. Cheryl Stalder-Cheney, podiatrist currently located in Sayersville, Kentucky. I've been servicing patients within Eastern Kentucky for the past 20 years.
Our feet are the foundation for everything we do, and whether you're suffering from fractures or injuries, need custom orthotics, diabetic foot care, sports medicine, heel pain, wound care, or anything else foot related, relief is just one step away. It was senior last night at the McGoffin County High School for the boys, and we'll go there in just a few minutes. A lot to talk about there because we had 28 seniors graduating this year. That's a lot. It's a good number. Here's tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau calendar, though, before we go there. A reminder, an important one, the next McGoffin County Blood Drive is coming up a week from tomorrow. You can go to kybloodcenter.org and get an appointment. Walk-ins are just as welcome and lovely. But it is a week from tomorrow, Friday the 23rd. I'll remind you a couple of times next week at the Sayersville First Baptist Church, 1 to 5 o'clock. And everyone who donates gets a super cool Be Humankind long sleeve tee like you see here. I like it. I like it a lot. And you've got a week to put that on your calendar again, Friday the 23rd, 1 till 5 at the Sayersville First Baptist Church. From there, we'll go on to funeral service announcements out of Johnson County, beginning with that of services to be held for 80-year-old Christine Kimbler of Paintsville, who passed away Tuesday, survived by her son, daughter, 3 grandkids, and 6 great-grandchildren. Services in her honor will be held tomorrow morning at 11 from the Jones and Preston Funeral Home. Visitation is till 8 o'clock tonight. And 68-year-old Frankie Sue Akers of Lomansville passed away on Tuesday of this week at Cabell Huntington Hospital, survived by a daughter, a sister, sister-in-law, and 1 grandson. Services for Frankie Sue Akers will be held this Sunday at 2 o'clock from Jones and Preston. For visitation, friends can call on the funeral home from 11 until time of service, which is 2 o'clock, again this Sunday. Regardless of what season it is, you can always find fan favorites of the Ville, Salyersville, at the seasonal shop. For the dudes, Duke and Cannon, Turn Rose, and more. And always something for all the Hornet fans. And for all the ladies, it's always Wildcat season, and it all changes daily. That's why you always have to make a stop at the seasonal shop just next door to Fraser's Prater Drug Store. The best place for all your prescription, over-the-counter, and Radio Shack needs, with some of the very best hometown lunch specials and treats. They're a pair like you can find nowhere else but in Salyersville. Someone dies in the U.S. every 7 minutes from an overdose, and over half of the population gets or takes pills from a friend or relative. And about 46 million and counting are exposed to narcotics in their drinking water. So don't toss them, flush them, or leave them lying around. Safely dispose of your unneeded meds anytime at Parkway Pharmacy,
where you can always talk to a pharmacist when you need one.
Cooked cabbage is back at your Sayersville Lee's, and so is the low-carb plate. I mean, yes, you can call it a low-carb plate because it is. There's barely any carbs in it, but it's also one of the tastiest meals we've got. And the healthiest, low-carb or not, with juicy roast strips, our famous green beans, and yes, that tasty cooked cabbage. A taste and flavor all its own, and only at your Sayersville Lee's.
Atrial fibrillation is one of the more common rhythms we see.
AFib is an arrhythmia of the heart where the top part of the heart is beating erratically and out of sync with the bottom part of the heart.
The electrophysiology service is made up of a team of healthcare providers, and that includes an electrophysiology lab where we're able to do procedures to help repair heart rhythm problems. When a patient becomes heart rhythm free, it can really restore their life.
ARH, more for Appalachia.
Are we going to see any snow out of this one? It's a possibility. I'll narrow that down for you as much as I can in a few seconds. Right now, it's to the McGoffin County High School, where last night it was senior night across the board. A bunch of seniors before the boys' game. A record number of seniors? I don't know. I'm not sure. A lot of seniors? I'm sure. I'm very, very sure. In cheer alone, Carly Adams, Bella Dunn, Emily Cottle, Kaylee Lemaster, Alexis Picklesheimer, Allison Williams. In dance, Lainey Bledsoe, Bailey Darnell, McKinley Eastep, Dalen Patrick, Emma Thatcher, Alyssa Torres. Boys basketball, Zane Whitaker, Grayson Whitaker, Noah Sammons, Ethan Salyer, Brock Montgomery, Reed Meadows, Ian McCarty, Garrett Jenkins, Aiden Barnett. Band, of course, Ben Carty and Candace Cole. Archery, recognized as well, Isaiah Watkins, Sean Montgomery, Landon Hunter, Carly Howard, and Landon Collinsworth. 28 by my count. And by my count, I've been to a total of 2 senior nights at the McGoffin County High School, Lacey's and Andrews, which essentially meant that I didn't have a show on those evenings because, well, it usually starts a little bit before I'm done here. And that was the case last night. But with 28, you certainly had to. But I did find, however, the table's still set up, of course, as everyone's in the gymnasium, a teacher, an elementary teacher, who was pretty reminiscent about how quickly time flies and how she can recall a number of these students in her classroom a number of years ago that feels kind of like it was just yesterday.
Exactly. Where is time gone? I came to senior night tonight, and I have taught so many of these seniors, and I could not be more proud of each one of those seniors. And I can remember in kindergarten it was such a big group. I know at North McGoffin we had 3 kindergarten classrooms at that time, and they were all full. And now here the same kids are seniors and ready to graduate in just a few weeks. And I could not be more proud of each one of them. And yes, where has time gone?
Indeed, Miss Jeannie, indeed. Now it's time to take you inside the gymnasium. McGoffin County Seniors and Hornets hosting Betsy Lane last night. Betsy Lane coming into the gymnasium at a 13-11 run thus far. Recent wins over Paintsville, Shelby Valley, and Prestonsburg. McGoffin County Hornets 14-11. They'd won their last 3 in a row. Paintsville back-to-back, and Johnson Central 3 big district games in a row. And last night, all eyes on our seniors, of course. Betsy Lane comes out early, puts one in off the glass. McGoffin County inbounds and half-courts it out to Grayson Whitaker. Grayson over to Reed Meadows, out past the arc. He looks, there's Zane Whitaker on the line, on the side, and there is Ethan Salyer for the big 3 early. Zane Whitaker here for a little jump shot. That's after an Aiden Barnett 3 that I missed, by the way. And here's Grayson Whitaker out and about, and a little dish back over to Ethan and out to Zane again. And he nails a 3. That was good for a 12-2 lead. McGoffin County and a Betsy Lane timeout early. And here's a little teamwork. Ethan Salyer to Aiden Barnett, to Walker Russell, to Zane Whitaker, back to Russell, and off the glass. And McGoffin County will count this one up with a little dish from Ethan to Zane for another big 3. And McGoffin County rolls right on at home on senior night. 74-58 final score against Betsy Lane, rolling on to a 15-11 run for the season, 10-3 in the region, of course, still 4-2 in the district. We'll be talking about, of course, next week, district tournament pairings. I went through them unofficially last night, but we'll have those in a few days, certainly early next week. They're at Shelby Valley tomorrow. Boys basketball tomorrow at Valley. And after that, only 2 more games. That will be Tuesday. They're at Pikeville. And then Friday night, last game of the season, regular season, that is, hosting Eastridge. The Lady Hornets are in action tonight. Road game for the girls. Wish them luck. They've been off for a few days, had some days to rest and recuperate, but they're traveling all the way to Phelps tonight. Tip-off set for 7 o'clock for the girls. First, a little weather food for thought on today's date in weather history all the way back in 1990. It was a good year. A 3-day run of record-setting high temps was in motion at the National Weather Service office in Jackson. The maximum temperature of 72 degrees on the 13th was followed by 71 the next day and 72 on today's date. The records for the 13th and 14th still stand. The 15th was broken with 73 back in 18. Climate records go back, of course, all the way back to 81. And we saw some nice temperatures today, topped out at 65 degrees here outside the Sagersville Independent and Your News Today offices and studios, and we're still hovering close to the 50 or 60 degree mark. 60 degree mark here at this hour. Winds right now, I've got a 5-mile-an-hour wind coming out of the west, but we did clock a 27-mile-per-hour gust earlier today. And humidity hovering right around 46%. No rain, good deal. And sunrise, 7:23, and you can pretty much add almost a minute, not a minute every day, but by and large about a minute, so to speak, to the sunset until, of course, time changes. That can't get here quick enough, in my opinion. Now, let's talk about what's happening. We are looking for a weak low-pressure system tracking along a front stall near the Tennessee border to bring a threat for some potential wintry precipitation, maybe some accumulating snowfall late tomorrow into your early Saturday. Rain and snow will develop from the west tomorrow afternoon. Rain may mix or will change over to sleet before switching over to all snow before tapering off late tomorrow night. Snowfall rates could be briefly intense, for they won't last long, but could see an inch or 2 per hour equivalent. So that could cause some travel problems, certainly. Currently, the highest probability for receiving at least an inch of snow is near and north of the Mountain Parkway. We're in there for a little bit of that. we'll see. And we'll talk more about it tomorrow, of course. And we'll have a much better handle then. Things are going to be changing as far as temperatures are concerned as well. We'll start with tonight bottoming out around 28 degrees. Later on, partly cloudy skies, westerly winds 5 to 16 miles per hour. Just clocked one at 7 right then, so they're a bit back and forth. 44 degrees tomorrow. Mostly cloudy skies for your Friday. Out and ahead of the setup with northeasterly winds a little more calm, but still 6 to 8 miles per hour, and a 30% chance of rain mainly after 4 o'clock, and an 80% chance of rain becoming all snow later on tomorrow night. So again, I'll be here perhaps when it's just raining, and we'll talk more about the potential for the snowfall and how it looks to add up to maybe an inch or two. 27 tomorrow night's where we'll bottom out. Here's your weekend right now coming up, 60. Dream on. 35 degrees for your Saturday. I don't know where that came from. 20 for your low. I think maybe some lingering AM flurries Saturday morning might be in the tank up to about 10. Mostly cloudy skies will hang on through late morning. And then we'll see sunny skies, I think, for the rest of your Saturday. But we're only going to see mid-30s, I think, at best. Mostly clear that night and back down around 20. And a few folks might actually see upper teens for nighttime lows Saturday night and into your Sunday morning, where the sun returns again on your Sunday, pushes us up into the 40s at around 43, 23 that night under clear skies for the latter half of your weekend. And here's a pattern that is welcome after all of that. After another chance of some snow, we'll start off Monday in the low 50s and work our way to the low 60s by midweek and beyond. Monday sunny, calm, clear, 51, 26, your high, your low. We're into the mid and upper 30s Tuesday night after a 55-degree day, mostly sunny. Rain chances make their way back into the picture with all of this warm air. Sad to say, but only 20% chance on Tuesday. We'll bump it up to 30% chance of rain on your Wednesday. We'll bump the daytime high up to an estimated 60. Nighttime lows well into the 40s Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday, we're still hovering right around that 60-degree mark. We will also be looking at what is a likelihood of rain. How much, I don't know as of yet, but a 60 to maybe 70% chance of rain right now on your Thursday. 60 for your high and 44 for your low. So again, kind of a little bit of everything. It is Kentucky. And that is it for tonight, but of course not for this week. I hope to see you here wrapping it up tomorrow night. For now, thank you for being a part of the show.